Today we are celebrating the International Day of the Girl Child. This is a day that focuses on how we can just make the lives of our daughters, girls, women better. So with me here is
Nemo Kimir.
yeah. So what do you think about this day?
I think I love it, especially since I was born a girl. Working for an organization such as Justice of Kenya, which is the organization that I'm representing right now. We really love events like this because it really moves the girls from a position of presence to a position of influence. So usually you see people just calling girls and making sure that they're seen somewhere and that they have participated. But in this symposium, you really see the girls taking charge. They're the ones who designed it. They're the ones who are coming and bringing their issues. But what's unique is also they're bringing us innovative solutions that some of us may not be able to think about. So they've really gone ahead and thought about their context. So then combining our experts' knowledge and them as context experts, then we can come together and find lasting solutions. The challenges have not really changed. I think how they have manifested is what they've changed. So is how it has changed. So for example, a long time ago, then you would say, let's not educate the girl child because she'll just get married, and then the boy child is more likely to then support the girl child. And it's still the same way now. We've just moved from rural areas to urban areas. So you still have that issue. And that usually comes out, let's say if a girl is pregnant, she usually sort of drop out of school. But then for the boy who impregnated her, he'll get to continue. And then you will see persons bring out what about his cousin, what about boys who are left behind, which really detracts from the issue. And that also detracts from budgetary allocations for the girls. Being able to see that everything is beginning to center around the girl, which is a bit of a misnomer because they've been left behind. So some of the initiatives that have been presented, such as affirmative action, there's still a lot of barriers to that because in as much as there's goodwill with some leaders, it's a lot of lip service. There's a lot of them just saying we will do this, but if you look at where the money is, it's not really behind the girls.
There's been a lot of focus on the girl child, and we've even forgotten that there's a boy.
The data does not actually support that. If you look at girls, especially with dropout rates, yes, you'll see a lot of enrollment for girls, but then follow them through high school. They do get pregnant, and then they drop out, then boys end up finishing. And I always tell those who bring up that argument that if you're able to point out women who are standing out, that's because they're the exception, they're not the rule. So if we're able then to see a whole plethora of women who then we can't really point out this one, and it becomes a norm, then we can say that we have done something for a girl child. But for right now, the focus, even right now, even as we're talking about girls, it still is brought to boys. And that's not to say that boys don't have a place. There are very good organizations in Kenya working with boys and engaging them in positive masculinity and also ensuring that they get to enjoy some of the roles and rights that they have, but that's not why we're here today.
There was some time last year a view by, I think, one of our judges in one of our courts, the judicial system. They proposed that the age of legal consent be lowered from 18 to 16 because they said that so many boys are rotting in jails, yet some of the sexual encounters were what we call consensual in nature. We know that somebody who is below the age of legal consent cannot consent, but they say that somehow there is consent. So, what would be your response to that?
Okay, if you're listening to this, I just rolled my eyes really hard. But I would say two things. One, on that judge, it's a bit also a misinterpretation because boys who have engaged in sexual assault and rape are still minors. So under the law, they need to be charged under the Children's Act, and that's a maximum of 3 years. So whatever boy is rotting in jail, that is a misapplication of the law. But lowering the age of consent only benefits perpetrators. And if you look at the majority of perpetrators, when it comes to sexual violence, it's actually adult males who are taking advantage of girls. So for us as Daughters of Kenya, that is it's not something that we can negotiate on, but rather we can work with the judicial system to rehabilitate those boys who have engaged in sexual assault and also work with some of the organizations that really engage boys and men in positive masculinity.